I thought this quote by Steve Kerr was very interesting in what he said about NBA defenses and how it relates to just the rise of Steph Curry and his evolution as a player. So I thought this was very interesting. I'm going to read you this quote he said. This was I think yesterday, or it occurred last week sometime, but I'm going to read it right now. Here it goes. I think it's been an evolution over the last 5 or 6 years, and some of it is the pace of play. Everybody decided to play faster. Some of it is the influence of Steph just shooting from where he does. Now you're seeing so many guys come across midcourt and pull up from the logo. That's kind of common to see that in any NBA game now. I think a lot of it is the rules. The NBA has really slanted the rules towards the offensive player. You're seeing the offensive guys really gain advantages in so many different situations. I think it's become almost impossible to play defense. In a lot of cases, the refs will tell you he wasn't in legal guarding position, and you're like, yeah, but he barreled over my guy. What is legal guarding position if somebody just runs right through you? But this is the way the league has gone over the last decade. It's really become more open and free, and mostly with positive results. But I think we've gone a little bit overboard, and we've taken away the power of some of the things that defense can do. So I found this quote very interesting because I think Steve Kerr knows the deal. He knows that Steph does get a lot of special treatment. And obviously, he's not going to complain about it because it benefits him, it benefits the Warriors, and it gives them a huge advantage going up against any team that basically teams can't really guard Steph to the fullest because of these rules, along with just the screens that they're getting away with setting. Kerr knows this. He knows this well. I also believe Kerr knows that the players today, their scoring has been inflated due to these rules. Keep in mind, Kerr played on great defensive teams of his career. Those Chicago Bulls teams he played with during the mid to late 90s were a defensive juggernaut team. I think people forget that. They just remember Michael and Scottie being these great scorers, and just the Bulls being a team that can get up the court very quickly and get dunks, layups, and whatnot. But the Bulls were a defensive juggernaut, and Kerr was part of that team. Kerr also played on two Spurs title teams that were defensive juggernauts, so he understands how defense works. He knows how he can definitely impact a player on the offensive end, and just how much freedom gets taken away when great defenses are allowed to operate. It can limit your ability to have a bunch of options to score on the offensive end. That's why I found it very interesting that he actually kind of basically admitted it, that he knows that just the game has changed and it's gotten out of hand. I think he was being PC with saying that it's gone a little bit overboard, but in his eyes, I bet you he probably does feel it's gone overboard. So it's pretty interesting how he can see these things, but everybody else, I feel, mainly the mainstream media and casual fans, are in denial about how much the game has changed in the last decade. And I was reading in this article which said that the league average, I believe, is like 114 points a game just for overall for the whole entire league. That's a ridiculously high number. And just I'm looking at this other stat I found very interesting, which is you have 5 teams who are at the bottom giving up the most points. And from in particular order, we'll go from the team that out of the top 5 who are giving out the most points, the least, and then to the one that's giving out the most. So the Lakers are giving up about 118.1 points per game. I forgot to mention the Warriors. So actually, I'll start over again. The Warriors are giving up 117.5 points per game. The Lakers are giving up 118.1. The Charlotte Hornets are giving up 118.9 points per game. Detroit Pistons are giving up 119.6. And the San Antonio Spurs falling in dead last at 121.4 points per game they're giving up. These are the 5 worst defensive teams in the league. This is really, really pathetic just to see that many points given up. But the league has turned into this scoring fest that is not being regulated. And I think if you're a real fan of the game, you see a crappy product right in front of you. Just You wonder how long will the league let this continue, because I think eventually they'll change it once they feel they can't make money off of this anymore. But I wonder how long this generation of fans, these really young fans, will get sick of this. I think, unfortunately, we could be seeing this for another 10 or 12 years at least, which is really bad. But that's all I have to say about this.